Hi everybody, my name is Daniel Krueger, and this is my summary reflection for MIT 814, Google and Education. So going into this course, my biggest prejudgment or belief was that I already knew everything I needed to know about Google and what Google had to offer to education. Our district has been one-to-one with students to Chromebooks for the past 3 years. We've been using Gmail for several years as our primary communication tool between faculty and students. We've used Google Classroom in the past before switching to Canvas as our LMS, and I've created assignments using Google Docs and Google Slides and Forms and all the standard tools. As I progressed through this course, though, I learned that I didn't know everything I needed to know. While I was reassured that many of Google's tools were familiar to me, I was not aware of all the features that the Google tools had to offer. Google seems to always be updating and improving their tools, and new features are constantly being released, and you really need to work to stay on top, to utilize Google to its full capabilities. I also didn't fully appreciate the collaborative nature of all the Google tools. I was comfortable, for using Google to create assignments and assessments and giving those assignments to the students through Google Classroom, but I really didn't use the tools to have the students collaborate with each other as much as I could have or should have. So the question I would like to pose for the conjecture stage is, how will the integration of Google and education affect the skill sets of current and future students? And in order to answer this question, I want to focus on Google being properly integrated into the classroom. And in order to properly integrate Google, we must take a look at the ISTE and TPAC standards. So looking at the ISTE standards is essential when incorporating technology into the classroom, so that it is done in a way that is effective and safe and promotes promotes good citizenship for the students, and allows them to be collaborators and learners and everything. So the specific ISTE standard that I found that I thought spoke most to this assignment was: use collaborative tools to expand students' authentic real-world learning experiences by engaging virtually with experts, teams, students, locally and globally. Because I would like to focus on, for the conjecture question, focus on using Google as a collaboration tool, and letting that affect how students do or approach solving real-world problems and engage in each other through the learning process. There's also the TPAC standards for EdTech integration, and when done correctly, incorporating Google affects all the different types of knowledges within the TPAC standards. So you have your technical knowledge of how to incorporate the technology, the pedagogical knowledge about how to use that technology for your specific discipline. In my case, it'd be biology, and then the content knowledge, which deals with the information presented in the course. And I really think that when done properly, Google kind of falls right in the center there. So it's right in that sweet spot where technological content and pedagogical knowledge all kind of overlap. For my analysis, I think that Google integration in education will improve productivity for the students, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. These are all vital 21st century skills that employers are looking for when they hire new employees. And skills that teachers should make sure that the students develop throughout their education. And finally, for my synthesis stage, I realized that integrating Google in education is more than just using docs to create worksheets and slides to create presentations to be shared in a Google Classroom. That's what I've been doing with Google before this course. Right? And I realized that I wasn't fully integrating Google into the educational process. Right? But by looking at the ISTE standards and the TPAC standards, I realized that integrating Google in education means utilizing it in various forms to encourage like a higher degree of collaboration, allowing the students to research complex real-world problems, and providing accurate assessments and assessment data for the student or for the teachers to base teaching on. All right. And like I said, these are all skills that employers are going to be looking for, especially in today's globally connected world. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to my reflective summary. Bye.